All right, chip of the day. We've got a 2N7000. I can't believe I haven't done a video on these yet. Very, very popular in my book. I think they're a bit old now. So I'm going to start out the video saying that if you have a stack of these, great. If you don't have a stack of these, go ahead and get the BS170. It's a better part, probably the same price or cheaper, and it is a higher voltage, higher current part. Does exactly the same thing. But what we're going to be talking about today is the 2N7000. All right, what is a 2N7000? It is a N-channel enhanced mode. Enhanced mode means that you have to put voltage in it to make it go. And it's a vertical DMOSFET, so not quite sure exactly how that's constructed inside, but the way that these semiconductor layers go, you can get them to conduct really, really well. They have very, very low on resistance. This is a pretty old one, and it was good for its day. It's going to be in a TO92 package, source gate drain. Applications. So it says it's good to control motors, converters, amplifiers, switches. So it's not a transistor where you're going to do amplification. You're going to have a class A or class AB amplifier. No. It's just a switch. It's an on-off switch. It's a driver switch. Okay? And so think of it as a solid-state relay. That's what these things are. So the specifications are, let's see here, DC electrical. It is a 30 volt part, plus or minus 30 volts. I think the BS170 is a 60 volt part, so twice as much. I think that's twice as much current too. So people talk about input capacitance and stuff. This one has a 60 picofarad input capacitance, so it's not going to have terribly fast switching times with that much picofarads. Yeah, so forward conductance, it's going to be in the 200 milliamp range. You can turn it on and off in 10 nanoseconds. So I mean, it's not too slow, right? 10 nanoseconds to drive a 500 milliamp pulsed load. So a lot of times these are used in pulsed mode. There's different characteristics whether you're going to be using them as a constant current or a pulsed current. Forward voltage drop, 0.85 volts at 200 milliamps. That's the diode drop, gate to source. So really what we want to look at here is it'll do basically 200 milliamps continuous and 500 milliamps pulsed, as long as you don't heat them up too badly. So you do need to monitor that. We'll do that. So let's take a look at some of the characteristics that we might be interested in. So here's one. Saturation characteristics. So this is going to be amps on this and volts on this. This is gate to source. So you might be driving a 15 volt load, but you're going to be turning it on and off with a TTL signal. So you can see here that at 4 volts, it is going to saturate and at about half an amp. And it'll do drain to source voltages all the way from about 2 volts to 10 volts in this graph here. So it does turn on at 4 volts. Let's see here, transconductance, thermal response. Here we go, on resistance. So this is amps of current draw, and this is the resistance when it's in the on condition. What is its on resistance? Usually people say, what is its on resistance? So at half an amp with a TTL gate to source, that 4.5 volt gate to source, its on resistance is about 2.5 ohms. That's pretty good, 2.5 ohms. And then if you put 10 volts on the gate to source, you can get it down to about, let's see, no, that's about 2.75. This is about 2.75 ohms, and this is about 2.25 ohms. So around in there, okay? So you can get a little bit better performance if you have a higher source. A higher gate voltage. Let's see here. What else can we look at? Test characteristics. Pulse generator. Here's how they're testing it. Pulse generator into the thing with a load on it, and they're looking at the switching characteristics, product family, maximum. So they're guaranteeing a maximum of 5 ohms, but usually they're around the 2 ohms, maybe even better than that. Usually at lower currents and stuff. So we can probably figure that out in our setup over here. But let's take a look. Okay, our test setup. We're going to be having a 10 volt into a 100 ohm resistor, so we can have 100 milliamps. And then we will have our FET to ground. So we're using it as a switch. And I want to be driving it at about 4.5 volts. Okay, I'll put a resistor here. What do I have on this circuit? I have 10K here. And so I want about I don't want to drive this at 10 volts. I want to drive it at about 4.5 volts. So what I did was I put in a Zener diode here, and I'm going to create a 4.5 volt voltage here. So we'll turn the gate on with 4.5 volts. Okay, so that's what we're going to have. What do I have? I have a 1K. I have a 1K resistor here. All right. And this Zener is about 4.5 volts. So make my schematic well, and we should always label your FET 2N7000. There we go, complete schematic. All right, so let's go over and take a look. All right, here's our FET and associated circuitry. I have the load resistor over to the side, so when it heats up, it'll be away from everything. And we'll take a look at this thing with a thermal camera when we have it running. Okay. So currently, we can measure some volts. All right. So let's measure the input voltage. Let me move the camera back. All right, so we have 10 volts on the input, and right now the other side of the 100 ohm resistor is also 10 volts. That's because the FET is off. I have the gate set at 0 volts, so we're not drawing any power at all. Okay, so let's hook up the thermal camera and look at the before picture. All right, get some use out of my thermal cameras here. All right, so right now the Zener diode and its 1K resistor right there are the only things that are warming up. There's a little bit of current going through the 5 milliamps going through the Zener diode, so it's a little bit above ambient. So it's 30 C here, a couple of degrees above ambient. All right, and the transistor is not even visible, but it's right there in the center of the screen. And then the resistor is over here, and it's not really visible either. So we will go ahead and turn the circuit on. Okay. And so now you can see the load resistor is now heating up and getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And right in the center of the screen now, you can see that 10K resistor going to the gate and the actual 2N7000 just staying nice and cool. If I go in here, we can take a look at the temperature right there in the center. It's really, really cool. And then the load resistor is getting toasty. So you can see this is a great way to drive loads. The the transistor staying much cooler than my little 1K resistor driving the Zener diode. So yeah, because they have such a low ohm resistance, right? It probably only has about 1 or 2 ohms of on resistance, and it's 100 milliamps, so it's just not going to get any power at all into it. So it just stays nice and cool. And yeah, let's go ahead and turn off the. I'm going to move the. Oops, sorry. I had to use 2 hands there, so I've just turned off the FET. I've put the gate to ground again, and we can watch our resistor cool down. There it is, cooling down. I should have some kind of tripod. I'm using my iPhone. I should have some tripod mount so I don't get a jerky, stuttery video all the time, shaky video. Anyway, there you go. All right, that was Chip of the Day, 2N7000, a classic.